I get that there are people who don't give because they don't feel that they're worthy to receive either. Because giving and receiving, they're basically the same thing. You can't give a gift if someone isn't there to receive it.
That's true.
So I get that one of the values that Oprah and others like her create is the idea of a unified experience that we can all share in this moment of surprise and value and excitement. And yet, simultaneously, for some, it's enough to experience that. It's enough to have watched it and to view it and to be a witness to it. And yet, far too many don't ever do anything as a result of it. And I would love to see everyone be Oprah. You know, maybe not necessarily a charismatic black woman, but I would love to see everybody in the spirit of giving, whatever that looks like for them, whether that's service or goods or money or time. Because sure, Oprah gives on a large public scale, which is cool, but we all live locally. I live in my community. I live in my house. I live in my community. I go to work at my office. There are opportunities to give there because Oprah is not giving right now in my community.
Okay.
I would like to be the Oprah I'd like to see in this world.
Well, the cool thing that I was just thinking about when you said that is I know that's part of her job is she does this and, you know, this is a direction she has chosen to take all of this, you know, her show. But the cool thing is Oprah being Oprah, I'm sure there are many things that she does silently. And just because she gets that joy and doesn't choose to, you know, publicize everything. And so that's cool. And just because that's who she is, I love that about her. And so we all can take a note from that.
I think you were watching the Oprah with me when there was this cute African girl who had come and she was a refugee, and they show this clip of her reuniting with her family. It's so precious, and I'm ugly crying. And then she does a follow-up, like, how are you doing? And we find out she's at this private school.
Very prestigious
private school in Illinois, Chicago somewhere. And she's doing great and obviously very well kept care of.
Yeah.
And I remember you and I both looked at each other and you said, oh, you know Oprah's paying for that.
Yeah.
Now, I don't remember anyone announcing Oprah was paying for this child.
Right. But energetically,
it was
Oprah
clear.
was keeping tabs on her.
Yes, that she made it clear that she was checking in with the teachers to make sure that she was doing okay. This girl was obviously wearing at least
beautiful clothes.
Yes,
even.
not just clothes. And I love that. Okay, sure, I could put two and two together and get that Oprah did that. But Oprah's not walking around carrying a flag saying, look at how awesome I am.
Look at my results.
Woo! Because ultimately, it obviously for ratings, she gives. Mm-hmm. But I get that intrinsically she gives.
Yep.
And if I would love to see Oprah's example picked up by people, it is the love of giving and the love of receiving gifts. Because if we were to all be unified in giving, if that were even possible, if we were to be unified in giving and unified in receiving, what would be different in this world? What would we be different if we literally lived every moment of every day looking for opportunities to give and graciously receiving when someone gave to us? I don't remember where I was, and it's probably a cliche story, but I remember someone sharing this experience or this, I don't know if it's a storybook or whatever, but it was this, something about there were these aliens and they had these long arms and no elbows. Okay? And there were...
Does this have to do with tickling a midget up in a tree?
No, does not have to do with
not
tickling
this time anyways.
Or pulling children out of wells with long arms. But there were these aliens with long arms and no elbows. And for whatever reason in the story, they were in two rooms. And there was a group of them in one room, and there was this huge banquet table full of food. And all the aliens with the long arms and no elbows were starving. because they were picking up food and couldn't get it to their mouth. They had no elbows. So I assume that they were like chucking it at their face and like catching it awkwardly. But whatever they could get in was they were starving. They were clearly emaciated. Then you go into the other room and the aliens are fat and they are happy and they are jolly and they are having a great time because they figured out that they could use their long arms with no elbows to feed each other. And as a result, they were full and happy and excited because their arms couldn't feed themselves, so they fed each other. And that story has always stuck with me. I actually really love that story.
That is really beautiful.
And so I'm wondering, what if we tapped into our inner Oprah, our I am Oprah consciousness, and chose to relish and enjoy giving and receiving, knowing that the only way a gift is valuable is that it's being received. So I love how Oprah has chosen to be that example. What is disturbing is how many people miss the example and just love the show because it's fun and people get stuff for free, and rather than seeing what an opportunity we have in our own lives to give at our own personal Oprah level. So that kind of leads me into the second way in which Oprah impressed me this week. Separate show, different show. Her 24th season opener. She's got Black Eyed Peas playing on stage, doing some remake of, what's that song called?
I Got a Feeling.
I Got a Feeling, yes. And they've changed the words for Oprah, and she's all excited. So they're singing this song, and I'm watching the playback, and all of a sudden, right in the front of the stage, probably 60 people are all doing this dance together. And I'm like, what the heck? Are those like dancers for the...
Well, see, even before that, there's the girl right in the middle in the front, like going 90 from the beginning. I'm like, oh my goodness, is that Chanel?
Just dancing
she's like
crazy?
dancing her heart out. I'm like, this could get awkward for this young girl, but she was going for it.
And
so.
she got it all over. And so then this group of people, like 60 people around her, start going. And it fills, and literally there's like 70,000 people standing in the street watching this Oprah show. And before you know it, the entire group of 70,000 people are dancing the same dance to this. It was so cool to watch because I've seen flash pots or whatever they're called where, you know, in the middle of a train station, Sound of Music comes on and all the people start dancing and do-a-dee, you know, it's very cute.
Right.
This was awesome. And what I loved was when they talked about the backstory of it and how they contacted on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube or whatever Oprah's on.
So what, you're saying Oprah doesn't do all that Twittering and Facebooking by herself?
Well, based on results, no, because she did not know this was happening. So I laughed a little when they said, oh, yeah, we used her Facebook and her Twitter and told her fans, if you want to come and dance on the Oprah show, come on. And 800 people in the Chicago area said yes. And they came and they trained them. And this is what I love about this story. They took those 800 people who learned the dance and they've put them all through this 70,000 person crowd. And prior to the show starting, all those 800 people taught the people around them this dance and the moves and how it was going to roll. So that when Oprah comes out on stage and the Black Eyed Peas start moving and she's watching and all of a sudden you can see Oprah slowly realizing what's happening. And all of a sudden this huge camera shot of this huge group of people doing this. And I realized here's someone, Oprah, who as a result of her show and her way of showing up and her way of being has empowered people sufficiently to, one, step up, bring their talents to the table, and be one of 800 dancers, and then